Hi, my name is Ryan and I'll be talking about the 2015 Idaho Diet Manual. This will be a short video update and we will briefly discuss some of the new additions to the manual. The manual is now in its 11th edition and is available on our website at eatrightidaho.org. There you can purchase a hard copy, a downloadable version, or even have a CD mailed out to you. After watching this video, there is an opportunity for continuing education credit. 2 hours of CEUs are available on the website. There's a test to fill out. It's an open book test that references the current Idaho Diet Manual. So a little background on the manual for those of you who may be unfamiliar with it. It's updated every 5 years by Idaho Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics dietitians. Dietitians from across the state of Idaho get together and take a look at the old manual, determine what information needs to be updated, what information can maybe be removed or edited, and from there the new diet manual is put together. The diet manual is used in healthcare facilities as a basic guide in planning nutritionally adequate meals for patients and residents. It's not intended to be a comprehensive nutrition reference or diet education resource, although it can be used for educational purposes. Certain pieces of the diet manual lend itself well to that function. It does also provide valuable information regarding therapeutic diets, mechanically altered diets, and really what is allowable or encouraged to be limited in those diets. Each diet manual is approved by the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare, and that process just recently finished up in the last couple of months. So the 2015 Idaho Diet Manual is ready to be purchased. With this edition, we wanted to make an effort to kind of get information from those who are already using the diet manual. What did they like about the diet manual? What did they feel could be changed or edited or removed? And to do that, we sent out a survey, and from those surveys, we gathered the information and the results. And just a few things that we noted or noticed that were quite common were, one, the manual was pretty lengthy. It was 257 pages in the old one. The current one is 172. So we made an effort to reduce, to minimize, to essentially get to the point with a lot of the recommendations or the information in there so that it can be used as a quick reference when needed, not as some people mentioned, very lengthy or cumbersome to kind of deal with and gather the needed information. Certain sections were also noted to be confusing or needed to be updated. Keep in mind the diet manual is updated every 5 years, so a couple years down the road after the current edition, there may be some things in there that may not be quite up to date. But the renal section and the diabetes section were looked at specifically in regards to that. Some sections were also noted through the survey to be not ever used or not helpful. So we took that into account when we reviewed those and kind of made a decision as to whether or not this would be something that would be helpful to have in the manual or not. So the survey was very helpful in guiding our revision process. Some of the other new things we added to the diet manual or things we focused on were to include more evidence-based practices. I'm sorry, not evidence-based practices, but more evidence-based citations. So certain statements or pieces of the diet manual, we referred back to the nutrition care manual for citations, for evidence on those recommendations. And when that recommendation or evidence wasn't there, we noted that. So we're really looking for best practices, what's current, what's the most cutting edge information in these topics. We also wanted to make it a more user-friendly format. We focused on increasing the sections that have foods allowable and foods not allowable. So it's very clear and cut what is appropriate for a person on this diet and what is not. We also wanted to pay particular attention to the diabetes and renal sections, as there was a lot of talk about those being confusing and long. We updated these sections. By far, these were the most updated sections of the diet manual. We tended to get rid of some of the diagnostic criteria. We did that because we wanted to keep in mind that this is not intended to teach people about a diagnosis like diabetes, but rather to teach them how to manage the disease through food and nutrition. And then, we should always defer complications to the physician or questions to the dietitian as needed. So these are just a few of the updates we made to the diet manual. There was a few other questions that came up regarding the diet manual and just, its duplication or how many copies can we make in a facility. You can make as many copies as you need for the facility that the purchase was made for. So if you need one to be kept behind the nurse's station, in the dietary manager's office, and in the kitchen, then 3 copies could be made. Another thing was, questions regarding, copying just certain pages, and we absolutely want people to copy certain pages for educational purposes. I find it very helpful sometimes to use the diet manual when educating family or a resident on what's allowable or not allowable on a mechanically soft diet. It very clearly points out food groups and food items that are allowed on the mechanical soft and ones that are not. So it's a great educational tool also. And with the new diet manual coming out, we feel it's important to maybe take time to just educate the staff on the appropriateness of or the usefulness of the manual, where it's located, and what information is in it. Again, going back to that survey, we noted that several people didn't actually know that they had a diet manual or what was in the diet manual. So there's a lot of good information in there. It can be used as a reference, especially when maybe the appropriate staff are not available. The dietitian isn't available, or no one in the kitchen is available at that time. It can be a great kind of resource to lean on for staff. So taking the time to kind of educate all employees in a facility about the diet manual would be good. If anybody has any questions, please send them to Sue Linya at sue@sandsnutrition.com. And that's all for me.